How's everybody doing? All right, so what we wanted to do was build out a piece of software that could kind of automate starting up Ninja, clearing the cache, opening the correct workspaces, connect to data, and then cycle through the workspaces. So with the toolbar, one of the issues had been, when opening up Ninja fresh every day, sometimes the market geometry wouldn't refresh unless you cycled through the workspaces. So we wanted to, automate as much as we could with getting everything going in the morning, so that, when you sit down at your computer, Ninja is up and running, all of the charts are connected properly, they've loaded properly, you've connected to data, and you could even, delete your cache every morning to ensure that your data on the charts is accurate and you're not missing any data, or you have any gaps or anything like that. So what we have done here is create this little program to automate that as much as possible. Okay, I'm going to show you today how to set up your BIOS to start your computer up from being completely off, or if you don't want to go through all that trouble, this program will wake your computer up from sleep and then start up Ninja, delete the cache, connect to data. It can actually start up both 7 and 8 at the same time, and then cycle through all these workspaces. So it's a pretty neat little program, and what I want to do is give you an example of how this works actually. Let me talk a little bit about just the kind of appearance of this thing, because what we added here, and this is why we made it free, otherwise we would have charged a small fee for this, but we added this little option in here to populate the right side of the actions pane, the actions tab, with a little ad for notifying people when we're going to have a webinar, if we're doing any kind of an update or a sale or anything like that. So we can change out that graphic on a server, and it'll update automatically. So that's a nice little feature. All right, so what we do from the settings tab, let me just explain a little bit about the way Ninja handles the data in the workspaces for a moment. So a lot of people don't really know this, but it's really important to clear your cache, your database occasionally. And now that we have a program that automates it, I'm doing it at least once a week. Josh does it every single morning. But I would say, at least once a week, delete that cache in the NinjaTrader DB folder. All of these folders, okay, the data folder is where your market replay data is stored. In the DB is a database, so the data is your market replay data. The cache is for the for kind of putting everything into session templates, I think. And then your daily data, your tick data, and your minute data are what you're actually downloading from the data feed. And I'm pretty sure Ninja puts all those into the session templates in this cache folder. So quite often, especially if you have CQG or Continuum or something like that, the data in your database can get corrupted. You can have missing bars and not even know it. And with what we do, obviously, the market geometry, it's very important that you have, as pristine, precise data as you can possibly have. So to delete all of this can often kind of clear up some running issues in Ninja as well. But if you're deleting all of this often and you're downloading that data fresh, then you're ensuring that you have the best, cleanest possible data that you can have. Brian's asking, do I recommend a data? Yeah, for the data that I use, I'm using Kinetic. And for the price, Kinetic, I think, is the best, most professional data that you can get. IQ Feed is more expensive, and it's the same data. So Kinetic, essentially NinjaTrader white labeled IQ Feed and started that Kinetic company. I think it's owned by NinjaTrader LLC. Maybe they did a separate business, but NinjaTrader did that with IQ Feed. They white labeled IQ Feed. And I want to say that the Kinetic, excuse me, one of you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Kinetic, it doesn't do something with the bid-ask data that IQ Feed can do. So for instance, if you're using, the GOMI data recorder framework, I want to say that you can download, you have to use like a little third-party app or something like that, but you can download bid-ask data directly from IQ Feed and convert it to the proper format and load into that GOMI framework for the volume ladder, the bid-ask stuff, and all of that. I don't think you can do that with Kinetic. So I think that's pretty much the only difference between Kinetic and IQ Feed. And for the price, it's $55 a month for the base package for Kinetic. And then I think I pay another $6 per month to have the CBOT, the CME, and the NYMEX. So I have pretty much, most of the futures contracts except for the TF and the dollar index. So all of that for, I think it's $61 per month, as opposed to IQ Feed, which, for non-professional, I think it was about 110, 115 a month, something like that. But they make it really difficult for you to get non-professional fees. So, they're not going to let you get away with not paying for professional fees if you have, if your trading account is with an LLC, you're trading through a business account, they're not going to let you get away with paying for non-professional fees. Kinetic will let you get away with it so that you're, if you pay professional fees, I think it like quadruples the amount of money you're paying every month, or at least it just about triples how much money you're having to pay for data every month. And Kinetic is long. See, for instance, for me, they know that I'm a partner with Ninja and that I'm doing this, for trading, within my organization. But they say, as long as I don't subscribe to stock data, that they'll let me do the non-professional fees. But for me, if I were to get, through Kinetic, if I were to get stock data, then they would have to charge me professional fees. So Kinetic's really good about that. And that, that's going to save you an extra probably $250 a month. So for $61 a month, it's the best data that you can get. Okay. I think most of you guys are paying what, like $15 a month for CQG or something, or Continuum if you have a Ninja brokerage account. Yeah. Yeah, so I always had, a problem with CQG, especially when I was developing the relative volume, because there were so many instances of bars missing, or there'd be like a ghost bar right around the close, and that would throw off the calculations for the relative volume, and then it would throw errors. So we, had to design the relative volume around those errors, missing bars or extra bars that don't have any data, don't have any volume data or price data. And that was typically only with CQG. So, for what we're doing with the market geometry, it's pretty important to have very clean, good data. And then we can also get the continuous contracts with with Kinetic. I want to say that CQG can't do the continuous contracts. Maybe they have them, but they don't have it in real time. Is that right? So all of that to say that Kinetic is the way that we go for sure. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Let me just answer a couple of questions and then we'll get on with it. Yeah, Vita's just saying there's not many people that do or have done what you do for us, so thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. I think that's it. Okay. Jordy's saying, I think you need to pay extra to get that level 2 on Kinetic. Yeah, but that's a little different, isn't it? Level 2 is to see the bid ask on not the traded bid ask, but the depth of market. So the I can't even think of what you call that, you know, for Jigsaw or all of that, to kind of look at the depth of the market above and below the quote. What I was referring to was the actual traded bid ask stuff. I think Bob knows about that. Somebody, Bob, was it you that created that little program for IQ Feed for downloading the volume for the Gomi stuff? Somebody named Bob did that on Big Mike Trading. But anyway, yeah, Kinetic is the best for the money that I know of. Okay. All right, so deleting the cache, back to deleting the cache. This is a pretty important thing that I think a lot of people overlook. And then, you know, all of a sudden, you've got a database folder that's, you know, just massive. And that can cause some issues with NinjaTrader. So it's best if you delete this at least once a month, but preferably at least once a week. And like I said, Josh is doing this every single morning. So what we have here on the settings tab is the start time and the start day. So I can select to do it, you know, every single day of the week, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll set this to 4:30 a.m. and delete the cache, let's say just 10 minutes before. So the time here is relative to the time here. So if this is set to 10 minutes, this means that the cache will be deleted 10 minutes before NinjaTrader starts. 10 minutes before NinjaTrader starts. Okay, so today is Thursday. The way I'm going to set this up is to open, let's see, what time is it? 3:50. So let's say 4 p.m. And I'm going to delete the cache 2 minutes before it opens. And now I want to make sure that I have the data feed spelled correctly. So we can do Ninja 7 on the left, Ninja 8 on the right. We could open them both at the same time. It doesn't matter. But what I'm going to do is just open Ninja 7. I'm going to run the 64-bit. So you could do the 32, 64, or select do not run if you want to run just 8 or 7. I'll set it to run 64-bit. And then I'm going to find my Workspaces folder. I don't have the Workspaces in here. Let's do this real quick. Let me just open Ninja. This is a VMware. I was trying to get the user guide done, the user guide finished before we went on here, and I didn't have quite enough time to. Oh, I know what I did. Never mind. Hang on. I forgot I renamed the folder. That's my problem. This is a pretty good little thing for you guys to know about. So this is just something I'm doing for a friend of mine, Todd Brown, that I worked with a while ago. So I built a bunch of Bloodhound templates for him a long time ago, and I'm just trying to update these for him. But what you can do, and this is pretty cool in case you want to have a couple of different instances of NinjaTrader, you can just go in and simply copy the folder and rename it. So what I'm going to do is name this one now to, let's just say development. And then I'll change the original one back to the original name, which is just NinjaTrader 7. So what you can do is, once you've installed Ninja, you can simply copy the folder, or rename the folder rather, just rename it, and then reinstall Ninja again. And then you can have two separate instances on the same machine without having to use a virtual machine. Okay. So let me just open it up and make sure that this is working properly. Yeah, thanks, Bob. There's another way to get the data by using the market replay data. Yeah. I don't think that data is very solid though from the replay. The replay server. It's not like downloading it directly from your data feed. It's a separate server. But yeah, he does have that for Ninja 8 now, doesn't he? Okay. So I just want to make sure that I have the workspaces, ES, YM, and TTP Apple. Okay. So what you can do if you close Ninja, so if we've got these three workspaces open right now, the ES, YM, and this Apple workspace, and then the Untitled number 1. Okay, so you see I open Ninja Backup, and it just has that Untitled number 1 workspace. You see that? So anytime you have a problem with, and this is another thing with Ninja, oftentimes the workspaces can get corrupted, and you'll have a bad workspace that will cause Ninja to keep crashing. And of course, every time you try to reopen Ninja, it's trying to open those same set of workspaces, and then you have to deal with customer support, and I don't know, maybe they tell you to reinstall Ninja or something like that. But if you want to get around that and open up a fresh blank workspace, you just delete that underscore workspaces folder. Okay, yeah, it doesn't recreate that file until you save. So when I close Ninja, you'll see that underscore workspaces. See that? Right, when I start to close Ninja, it saves an instance of all of the open workspaces in that little info file, that little XML file right there. Okay, so what I want to do, I'll just delete that again just to make sure that we're not opening any other workspaces. I want to open this workspace, so I'm just going to copy it directly, paste it in there, Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. You can also just type it out, directly right there. And then what is the other one? Apple. So you can put, I think 10 in here right now, but we'll open this up and make it to where you can do, as many as you want. 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever. But I think right now it's limited to 10 workspaces for Ninja 7 and then 10 workspaces for Ninja 8. But we'll update this here probably for the next webinar, next month. Okay, and then you just simply spell out the data feed connection. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it might be IQ. No, it's kinetic. Okay, and then you set which instance of Ninja you want to open, whether that's the 64 or 32-bit. Okay, so now it is 3:59. What I want to do is I'll set this to 404. 403. So when it hits 401, it's going to delete the cache. And then when it hits 403, it will open up Ninja, open up these workspaces, connect to data, and then once it connects to data, it's going to wait for that workspace for all the charts to load, and then it'll cycle through to the next workspace, wait for those charts to load, cycle through to the next, wait for those charts to load, and then cycle all the way through until all the charts have loaded, and then you get a complete window. So we did that because with the toolbar, it's important that all those charts, actually become active and have the data update so that the market geometry will update properly. So I go back to the Actions tab, click on Run, tells me the cache is going to be cleared 2 minutes before the next start, and the next start time is 4:03. So in about 45 seconds, it's going to delete these folders, and we'll just watch it do that here. Pep is asking, will it connect to data feed after loading all workspaces? Yeah, so it'll open Ninja, open the workspaces, and then connect to data, and then cycle through all of those workspaces to make sure that they've loaded properly. We're going to do something in the future to make that a little bit better, actually. So we're going to make Ninja open up no workspaces first, connect to data, download, open the download manager. You see it just cleared the cache, killed all those folders, and then gives you this little message here. You can click on this add to go to this registration page, or you can just click on OK to exit out of that. Okay, and now in 2 minutes, minute and a half, it's going to open up NinjaTrader. So in the future, though, we're going to do it to where it'll open up a blank workspace, connect to data, open up the data download manager, and then download the past, whatever, you'll be able to user define it, but maybe like the past 5 to 7 days worth of data for a select set of instruments that you've user defined, so that when you then open up those workspaces, you'll already be connected to data. It will have downloaded the most recent data. And then when you open up, rather than opening up missing bars, which I'll explain why Ninja does that in a minute, rather than missing that data between the last time that you opened and connected to the last time that you closed, you'll be missing that chunk of data. Let me just kind of explain it. So when you open up Ninja and you connect, well, let me put it like this. Have you ever had Ninja open? You see that, you're connected to data, you have the current bars building, and then you close Ninja and immediately reopen it. And when you reopen it, you're missing all of the data that you just had on the charts. You're missing the data up or back to the point where you last opened up Ninja and connected. So I can't remember exactly why Ninja does that, but you'll be missing, okay, here it's opening right now. You'll be missing the data from the moment that you last connected to the data feed to the moment that you close Ninja back down. Okay, because when you reopen Ninja, you'll be missing that chunk of data, and then that can throw off certain indicators and potentially the market geometry. So in the future, we're going to make it to where it'll open up, like I said, a blank workspace, download the data, and then open up the workspaces. So open up a blank workspace, connect to the data feed, then download for a select set of instruments, and then open up all of those workspaces. So here it's opening up blank charts because we've deleted the cache. So it's opening up all these workspaces, and you see it pauses for a minute. It's like several seconds, but all this is happening, potentially while you're sleeping. So it gives each workspace enough time to load properly. And then, it checks the CPU, and it tells whether the charts have finished loading or not. And then once everything kind of dies down a little bit, then it will open the next workspace. Okay, so we've opened up all the workspaces. So now it's going to connect. Oh, it's got one more. Now it's connecting to Kinetic. See that? Okay, so now it'll begin cycling through the workspaces to make sure all the charts have loaded. Yeah, just cycle to the ES workspace. Okay, there. Now it's cycling, and once these charts finish loading, it'll wait a few seconds and then go to the next one. Okay, audio is still fine. Josh, could you just send me a link to that that page that you had for dealing with the BIOS? Okay, now it's complete, you see? So now it's completed and it's all finished. So you click OK and you're up and running and good to go. So for a lot of us, the way that we're trading, we have multiple workspaces, multiple charts, and it can take, well, especially if you're starting with a deleted cache, it can take a solid half hour to get everything up and running. So what we're doing is trying to save as much time as possible, obviously, so that we can dedicate the most time as we can to proper analysis and marking up the charts and trading. So that's the idea here. Okay, thanks, Corey. Thanks, Josh. Okay, so David's saying, what's the point without history of pre-opening it? It doesn't really matter. If you don't have anything on the chart, it doesn't really matter. For the market geometry, everything that we're doing with the toolbar, everything is stored in a data file anyhow. But that's just the way that it works because you're not deleting the cache every single day. You could do it every single day, but it doesn't do any harm to open up a blank workspace. But if you're opening up a workspace, that you do have a database for, then a lot of people don't really realize this, but when you're connecting to Ninja as it's starting up, if you have that connect on startup checked for your data feed, and that's another thing, you should disable that if you have that. That's where a lot of people get the corrupted database from, because Ninja's trying to load, it's trying to open up all those workspaces, and it's connecting to the data at the same time. And that's where the problem with Ninja comes in. It has some issues with storing and saving the data and creating the XML files. So if you have this checked, connect on startup, you should definitely uncheck that. You don't want to try to connect while Ninja is trying to load all of those different workspaces. Like I said, that's where a lot of the issues with corrupted databases comes from. So open Ninja, let the workspaces load. Once they're finished loading, then connect to the data feed and then cycle back through and make sure all the charts have loaded. So if you have a bunch of, let's say you have 10 workspaces open, and then you connect to data from one workspace, until you cycle through to the next workspace and the next one and the next one, those charts don't actually fully load and become active windows. They just are kind of sitting there in the background without having the bars fully loaded onto them. And for, for instance, if you have anything set up to do any sort of automation or whatever, using the toolbar or anything to do with Bloodhound or Blackbird or anything like that, if you don't have those charts fully loaded, then it's obviously not going to update properly. So one of the things that we were doing for this before, when we were actually in development mode, trying to develop this tool with the reader for this market geometry tool that we have, we're reading these levels inside of this indicator, this reader indicator, which we then have inside of Bloodhound. Okay, previously, without F5ing reloading the Ninja script, tapping the F5 key and reloading, this one's doing it automatically. Right here, right click, reload Ninja script. And there's really nothing on this chart, so you can't even see it happen. We were having to do that manually to reload Bloodhound, reload the reader to, what would you call it? I guess reinitialize it. And with the new version of the toolbar, that's not necessary. All of that stuff is done internally inside of Bloodhound. So Jeremy added a little feature inside of Bloodhound that would cause the solver or the indicator inside of the solver inside of Bloodhound to refresh. Okay, so I think anytime a change is made on a chart or anytime there's anything done on a chart, Bloodhound will reload the reader. So what we were having to do with the NinjaManager before was to cycle through the workspaces, find the chart that Bloodhound was on, and then reload it. Okay, but we're not having to do that now because the reader and all that is completely automatic, but we still are making it cycle through the workspaces and reload so that, when you come to the chart, all of the market geometry will be updated properly. TJ is saying the best order he's found for avoiding corrupting the database or the workspaces is to, number 1, open NinjaTrader, 2, connect to data, 3, open the workspaces until all the charts populate one at a time. Yeah, that's what we're going to do for the next update. We'll delete that workspaces file, open Ninja. So we'll start off by deleting this file. Probably start off by deleting the database completely. But we'll definitely delete that workspaces file, sorry, though. Where is it? Well, it won't save until after yeah, there it saves. That file will delete. We'll open Ninja, connect to data. Like I said, download the past 7 days worth of data or something by using AutoIt or whatever to open the data manager. So we'll have a user-defined set of instruments or whatever on the actual user interface here somewhere. And then download the data for those symbols and then open up the workspaces. Probably about this time next month. It may happen sooner. We've got a lot of stuff we're working on right now, though, that we're trying to get done for June 22nd. Okay. Let's see. Jordy is saying, if you delete those folders, you'll be limited to what tick data Kinetic allows. No. That's why we're doing this early in the morning. So I guess it depends on, what time you come to your computer and start trading, but Kinetic only limits the data, the tick data, during business hours. So if this is 4 a.m. in the morning, then you're able to connect to download as much tick data as you want. I think it goes back, what, 10 years? So if you're saying that you want to keep 10 years from now and then keep that moving forward, then your database folder is going to be just massive. You may want to just move that and back it up or something. But no, you can connect before market hours to Kinetic and download whatever you want. That's why we're doing this, so that you can delete the cache, wipe it out, open up Ninja, connect to Kinetic, and download all of your data for all of your charts before market hours, before coming to your computer, so that when you sit down at your computer, you're ready to start marking up your charts and trading. Jordy is asking, is that issue with Connect on Startup the same in NinjaTrader 8? I'm not sure how they changed. I know that they changed. I don't know exactly what the changes are, but I know Ninja 8 changed the way that they're handling data. Corey, do you know much about that, or anybody? What they actually did? I would say just go ahead and don't do it in Ninja 8. I would, it's trying to do too many things at once, and that's where the corruption happens. So it's trying to open, it's trying to load workspaces, and it's trying to connect to data and then repopulate those charts with the new data. And that's where things get messed up. Maybe with Ninja 8 because of the way that they're handling data and the fact that, what was it, Corey? Was it like a core per market or something? The way that they split up the, per instrument. The way that they split up the cores is a little strange, but if we have multiple instruments open, then potentially, it's able to handle all of that with as many cores as you have on the computer per the number of instruments you're trying to open. Well, whatever that means. All of that to say that maybe it's not a problem in Ninja 8, but I would avoid connecting on startup altogether, just to make sure. NinjaManager file is not installing properly. What do you mean? What's it doing? Does it delete or preserve market replay? Oh yeah, it leaves the market replay folder. I should have specified. I should have told you that. Remind me to put that in the user guide as well. Forgot about that. It leaves the data folder for the market replay. That's one stipulation we made. In case you're consistently using market replay and you've got all that data downloaded in there, it'll save that for you. See, it didn't delete it. I had that in there from like a month and a half ago. Yeah, I'm not sure the exact number of days back you get for the tick data. I know that during market hours, they limit it to 10 days. Yeah, Robert, tell me what happened when you're trying to install it. So to install it, all you do is just double click on the installer. We've got the document there. I'll put the link to the user guide in here again. Clicking on the icon, nothing happens. Where's the icon at? On your desktop? You're double clicking on it. So let me just walk you through this really quickly. Well, to uninstall it, you can actually just double click on the installer again. This is the installer, TTP NinjaManager. Next, I can click on remove and then remove it. Yes, and see it's a verified publisher. We had RJ do this. at NinjaTrader. So it's a good installer. I mean, everything should be working really well. So you just double click on the TTP NinjaManager to install it. Next, accept the EULA agreement. Next, if you want to change the folder, you can do that. Next, install. Yes. Finish. So now it's got the icon here, the shortcut, and you can access it from the start menu, recently added, or go down to TTP, trade the plan, click on that, and then NinjaManager right there. Clint, would you put those links? Rob's asking. Where do you get it? It's in the free members area. So if you have a free membership to the site, then you can access it from the free members area. Clint, will you put the site back in the Zoom chat? So double click on the shortcut, and then it should open just like this. You're saying that doesn't happen for you, Robert Hakel? Yeah, it's free. It's free. It's not no charge. The reason why we didn't make it a charge is because we can do this little ad here for any updates that we're doing, any webinars that we're doing, whatever. So we can change this image from a server, and it'll populate instantly on everybody's machine. So it's just a little image deal. I won't bother trying to show you. So you can click on this, and then it'll open up the registration page. So this is the next webinar that we're doing, June 22nd. And we're going to have all of the development for our indicators done by then. All the new latest development for all the readers and doing all the automation stuff inside of Blackbird and all that. So that's what this webinar will be about, June 22nd. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? This was Corey's idea, actually. And then we had a guy that's good with, well, he's just C# and auto hotkey type thing, so that it can actually grab Ninja and then, do stuff from here. It's pretty cool. What do you mean the MSI one? That's the only one that should be up. It's an EXE. Oh. No, that's not the right one. Clint, I gave you the link to the installer. Man, did I give you the wrong one? I don't see how I could have given you the wrong one. I uploaded only one. Maybe I gave you the wrong one. Hang on a second. Well, TTP NinjaManager.msi. What in the world? Yeah, I don't know how that happened. This is the right one, Clint. Yeah, sorry. If you guys installed that old one, it's got some issues with it. So yeah, no, that's the wrong one. The .exe is the wrong one. It's missing, it's got some bugs in it, so it's not working right. Yeah, I know that, Josh. I don't know how it looks like I posted the link to Clint wrong earlier. I don't even know how I uploaded that. Clint, can you change that link out? Here's the link, guys. This is the one you want to install. So just run that. Actually, you can't run that installer again. You can just uninstall it. Okay, cool, thanks. I'm sure you guys know how to uninstall a program, but you can just type uninstall into the search here. So if you've already run the .exe, that's the wrong one. Yeah, I just did. Look above there. Oh, I sent it privately. Hang on one second. There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's fixed on the site now, and there's the link in the chat window. Sorry about the confusion there. That was a mistake on my part. I don't know how in the world I uploaded the wrong one earlier. I was just trying to do too much stuff too quickly earlier. Okay. Yeah, it should be all good now. All right, so I'm sure you guys know how to uninstall a program. So if you installed the one that says NinjaManager without the TTP, then uninstall that. The correct one will say TTP NinjaManager. Whoops. Okay, good. How did you have it in there? Through Google? Yeah, I don't know how in the world I sent that incorrect link. That's ridiculous. I don't even remember uploading the old one. All right, so anyway, you guys should be good now. So everybody have it installed? Okay, good.
Hey, Dan, I got a question for you.
That's what it was. Okay. Well, anyway, so now that that's worked out, you guys should have the right one. And it should be working fine now. And I'll go ahead and post the link to the user guide. I'm sure you guys can access it from the site as well. I posted it earlier, but here is the user guide PDF. Let's just kind of walk through that briefly. And then I'll show you a bit about how you can automate your computer to start up from being powered off. I'll see if I can do it. So I have a VM, a virtual machine. I think I can go into the BIOS in front of you guys, I think. We'll see in a second. So I'm just kind of giving a brief little introduction here. I did this about 2 seconds before going live here. Made it into a PDF. So these table of contents don't actually link. So I'll be creating a new one of these here in a little bit. But number 1 is the introduction. 2, we're just describing how it works. 3 is the installation instructions. And then 4 is step-by-step instructions on operating it. So it's pretty simple, but we've created a new template for all of our user guides. So all of our user guides are going to be much more formal now. So we'll be cranking these out directly here. So these are the key features. You can open up 7 or 8, whichever version. Delete the database cache before opening. and open any user-defined workspace for Ninja 7 or 8, and then connect to whatever data feed. I think for the next one, I'll actually make 2 data feed. One that you connect to first, and then one that you connect to second. I'll add that into the new one. That would be important for anybody that has a brokerage account while using Kinetic or some other data feed in tandem. And then, of course, it cycles through all the workspaces like we were talking about earlier to make sure all the charts loaded. It can work on Windows XP and Windows Server 2003 if anybody's using any of those. And it's, like I said, it's a standalone little application. So it has, it doesn't really, it's not like an indicator or anything. It's a standalone little application. And then the rest are the installation instructions, how to turn it on. And here you can hide it. This is pretty straightforward stuff, guys, but you can click on view and then hide to minimize it. And then it'll be down here in the task tray. And then you can just right click on that icon and then click show to bring it back. Pretty basic stuff. And this is just explaining everything that we've just done. So you customize everything using the settings tab, and then the actions tab is where you click on run, and where you can click on the graphic for future webinars and stuff like that. Okay. Again, the cache, the time is relative to the startup time. So the cache delete time is always the number of minutes before the startup time. And you can set it to just delete the cache one day a week, or every day, or however you want to do that. And then as long as you're connecting to Kinetic or wherever, maybe for CQG and Continuum, there is no limit, but as long as you're connecting before market hours, then you can download as much tick data or minute data as the data feed allows. I'm typically doing it about deleting the cache about 10 minutes before. Once you've already deleted the cache, if you've got a really massive cache, then maybe it's going to take some time to delete it. But after you've deleted it consistently, it deletes in a matter of moments, a matter of seconds. So what else? That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, huh? You just type in the names of the workspaces exactly as they're saved, and type in the name of the data feed exactly as it's saved, and you're good. I think I'm going to add an option to make it to where you can just open up the workspaces folder and then add the workspaces like that. So maybe like a little pop-out, another little pop-out user interface or something. And then if there's any error, if any of you guys ever get an error, yeah, the time is the time on your PC clock. Exactly. Yeah. This is the message window here. If any of you guys ever get an error, please write in and tell us the number, what it is. James is saying, I shut down my computer and internet connection at night to lessen hacking possibilities. Can I use this manually in the AM when starting for the day? So James, are you worried about a username to start up your computer? If you don't require having to use a password when you start up your computer, for instance, like, for me here, nobody can get in here. So it doesn't really matter if I have a password on this. Well, technically somebody could break in, but for me, I can start this computer from the BIOS on a timer, on a schedule, with the computer being completely off. And then it will start up automatically. It will open the NinjaManager automatically. And you can set up little tasks to open the NinjaManager and then click on that run button automatically. And it'll get everything completely started up and running from being completely off. So let me show you that now. We did a little, actually Josh did this. I'll see if I can go into the BIOS from here. Let me close everything. One second. Okay, here is a document. Brad, I was just saying that for the future, for the next version, we just kind of did a basic one just to kind of get it done. It was dragging on and on for a while. So we released this one now just to kind of have one finished, but in the next version, I'll make it to where it'll have 2 different data feeds that you can connect to. It'll be, number 1 or first and then second. So you'll have your primary data feed for data to connect first, and then you can have your secondary to connect your brokerage, your order routing connection. So for me, I connect to Kinetic, but then I'll have to come back and log on to Continuum to start trading. But that's fine because it only takes 4 or 5 seconds to connect to Continuum. No data is loading through there. It's just order routing. So we'll add that. We'll add some different stuff for workspaces, and then we'll add some options for automatically downloading data from a select list of instruments. David is saying once you have the data, the system can first connect, then update feed, and later open workspace. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to do it for the next version, David. Yep. Yeah. Actually, if you guys, if you're playing around with it, if you're using this and you've got some ideas to make it better, let me know and we'll add those in. Just thinking about doing a replay download manager, but I think that's too much work. The couple that are available, there's one that's pretty good, but it's $15 a month. It's not, it's like paying for a separate data feed. It's just ridiculous. So the free one is, I don't know, it's problematical. I find some problems with it. Yeah, no, that's good, David. So we're going to add that in for the to not have to open the workspaces first. So to be able to open without any workspaces, then connect, and then open the data download manager, and then download, the past 5 days or 7 days, so that when you open up all of your workspaces, you'll have current data, but the last data that you had open on the charts when you closed also, because there are some indicators that have problems with that. I think, for instance, with Sean's, the golden zone indicators, there was an issue with the way it was opening and missing the data, missing the chunk of data from the last time you connected to the last time you closed. So I was talking to Raul, the guy that made the installer for us, and he had given me some ideas for making this a little bit more robust. So yeah, if any of you other guys have any other ideas, please let me know. Add workspaces on a virtual driver. So on my laptop, I will have updated workspace. I don't know what you mean. You mean be able to copy workspaces from one computer to a server and then be able to download it from another one? Yeah, I don't know. We are going to do a workspace backup thing. So because workspaces do get corrupted, so we're going to have a auto backup kind of a deal as well. But when you're trying to open up, well, when you want to start up the computer from completely off. All right, so you shut down the PC. It's completely shut down. If you wanted to be able to start that PC up without having to come in and manually click on the power button, you can do that, I want to say, with every new BIOS at least. Maybe with some of the older motherboards, they don't have this option. I'm not sure, but I imagine with, any motherboard that's made in the past 5 years probably has this feature. I don't know if that's safe to assume, Josh or Corey, but I would think it's probably safe to assume. So each person's BIOS, each motherboard's BIOS is going to be different, but I think there's only so many different ways they could name this. Essentially, you have to either go into advanced mode or power management to find the scheduler. And here it's called, what is it, Josh? APM configuration. That's kind of hard to see, but I think it's APM. Yeah, we're recording it. It's actually streaming to YouTube automatically right now. So here's the link to YouTube. You guys could watch it immediately if you wanted to. And I'm actually doing a video on this. I've done a video on this. I just have to edit it, actually. So I recorded this a couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday, day before. Let's see. All right, so it's APM configuration. Or I think for me, it was just power management. And then there was an option right there that said, I think it said startup timer or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to try to get into the BIOS here in a second. But yeah, I've got all of this recorded in a 20-minute video. I'm going to try to edit it down to about 10 minutes to go through these steps we're going to go through now. But I figure since you guys are here, you may want to do this immediately so that for tomorrow morning you can have this test it out, see if it works. But this is Asus Bios. If you guys don't know how to get into your BIOS, when you're restarting the computer, as it's starting up, it's usually the delete key, but you just tap the delete key as it's starting up, or sometimes it's F12 or F11 or F2. I think I had one a long time ago that had escape as the BIOS launch, but it's one of the keys on your keyboard. Your FAQ section on the motherboard website will have this, how to access the BIOS. Well, it'll tell you the exact key that you have to tap. As it's restarting, you tap that key, the BIOS comes up, and then either via advanced mode, advanced options, or power management, you open up, advanced mode or power management, and then you'll get to, for me, it was just startup timer. For Asus, it is APM configuration, APM configuration, and then power on by RTC. I have no idea what RTC stands for. Okay, so you want to enable power on by RTC, set it to enable, and then you have the days, the hour, the minute, and the second. So if you want to open it up at 4:30, you start it up at 04:300. Okay, so you set all of that, and then here you can press F10 to save and exit, but there's typically a button on here that'll say save and exit. Okay, so however your BIOS works, I'll see if I can go through an example with my BIOS now on the virtual machine. But then you have to do just a couple of different things here. You just have to disable fast startup, and I'll go through that with you here in a moment. And then Yeah, that's the fast startup. And then if you want to do this from sleep or from being off, it's going to have to open and start up your computer without using a login password. I wonder if you could somehow, Josh, is that possible to automate, when it's starting up on the schedule to enter that password automatically, but if you're starting it up manually to require a password, do you think that's an option somewhere? That'd be something to find out, look into, because I'm sure some people are going to, not like the fact that their computer has to start up without a password. If you're at home, it's probably no big deal, but maybe if you're at an office building, then it's likely a big deal for you. So let's see if we can do this via my virtual machine here. Steve is saying, or hang on a second. Do I need to delete the password requirement to make this work? Yeah, I'll show you how to disable that. It's in this document. It'll show you how to do that. I just put the document in the chat as well. Let me put it in HIP chat also. Where is HIP chat? Real-time clock. I don't know what you mean. Is that something in your BIOS, Samir? Real-time clock? Oh, I'm sorry, RTC. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you put it to sleep, you don't have to do any of this stuff. So the NinjaManager will open up from sleep. So I can send my computer. I don't have a sleep option here. Huh. I guess I disabled that on this VMware. I can send the computer to sleep, and NinjaManager will wake it up. So that's already programmed into the NinjaManager. What we couldn't do, because everybody has a different BIOS, every computer has a unique motherboard. I mean, maybe there's only so many motherboards, but some people have really old computers, whatever. So it's not something that we could completely automate. Plus, we couldn't completely automate that anyhow, because there's so many other possible ways that people have their startup set up, So maybe we could have done it for a couple of unique motherboards and setups, but to completely automate starting up from powered down is, I think, too difficult of a task to do properly. So it will, however, start up from sleep. Okay, so that's good. At least you can put your computer to sleep. You're not wasting any power, any energy. Your monitors aren't running and hot. Your PC is able to cool down every night. So you can at least do that without having to go through all of the steps that I'm going through now and in this document. Okay. You would still want it to start up without, from sleep to start up without requiring using a password. So you still want it to, go directly to your desktop without requiring a password. And then all this will work automatically for you. All right, so let's shut everything down. I'm going to see if I can get into the BIOS. I think it's F2 for me. So hopefully the VMware is the same way. Restart. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. Virtual machines are a little bit weird. It would be pretty odd if a virtual machine would let me enter my main PC's BIOS, but I figured I'd give it a shot. So I won't be able to show you an example of that because the computer is in, it's in its BIOS mode, and obviously we wouldn't be able to talk if that were the case. But if you're interested in going that route, these are detailed a detailed explanation on how to do that from your BIOS. It's not too difficult to set up the BIOS. What's difficult, it's not really difficult, but what may be a little bit daunting to some people is to set up the task scheduler. It's really not that bad. It's just a couple of different tasks that we have to do. The NinjaManager run file is an auto hotkey script for being able to have auto hotkey. Click on this run button. So obviously the problem is when you're starting up from the computer being powered off and you set in the task scheduler to start up the NinjaManager, the issue then becomes, well, how are you going to be able to click on this run button? What's going to be able to do that for you? Luckily, there's a little programming language called auto hotkey that allows you to set these little scripts for any type of hotkey imaginable, anything you could possibly think of. All right, so this little NinjaManager run file, let me show you this. Okay, this is downloading the NinjaManager file. I'm going to put that in the chat and in HipChat. So this is the auto hotkey script, and this is for running the NinjaManager application. Okay, so what I want you to do with this, you can put it anywhere you want, but you need to be able to, have it in a proper folder that you can access using the task scheduler. So if you type into the search down below task scheduler, and see, I didn't really know about this before. This is not something I've ever used. You can have your computer do all these little tasks for you automatically. It's not something I've ever used before, and it's incredibly handy. It's just, you can do all sorts of stuff. So you can start up programs automatically. With auto hotkey, you could have those programs, actually do stuff for you. So if you'll take this little NinjaManager run script, it's an auto hotkey script. For me, I put it in the C drive together with the NinjaManager folder right here. So if you go to the C drive, program files, 86, you'll have a trade the plan folder there. And this is getting a little more advanced, what we're going into now. So you're, if your eyes glaze over and you go apoplectic, I don't blame you. So I'm adding this NinjaManager run script into this trade the plan folder in my C drive, program files 86. See? Trade the plan. That's where the NinjaManager is, right there. I can run it from here. And that's what we're going to do in the task scheduler. We're going to run the NinjaManager, and then we're going to run that hotkey script. And the hotkey script will run 2 minutes after the computer starts up. So it gives your computer enough time to kind of get going. If you load certain programs automatically, it gives those programs a little time to load. Was there another specific reason why you made it 2 minutes delay, Josh? Or was that pretty much it? Just to kind of let everything get loaded. All right, so we're going to take the task scheduler. Again, you just search down here, task scheduler, right there. Open up the task scheduler and simply click on create task. Okay, this document will walk you through exactly what all you need to do here. Okay. Let's see, this is, I think, an important first step right here. Let me go through this with you. So disable the login screen. A couple of you guys were asking about that. How do we disable the login screen? Okay. You'll have to do this, even if you don't set up all of this advanced stuff for starting the system from completely powered off if you want to start up from sleep, which the NinjaManager does automatically, you'll still need to disable the password login, the login screen for Windows 10. I imagine it's probably the same for most Windows. I don't know what XP would be. It's probably the same thing here. Control C to copy. It's net PLWIZ, NET PLWIZ. I'm going to paste that in the chat in case you guys want to follow along with me right now. So to open up the run window, you've got a little Windows key to the left of your spacebar. In between the Control and the Alt key, it's got a little key with a Windows symbol. Just hold that down and then tap the R. R as in row. And that will open this run window here. You see I've already got the net PLWIZ in there from before. Okay. Josh, how else could I open that run dialog? Because I want to do it on my VMware. Okay, there we go. I just had to click inside of it, sorry. Okay, so this is on my VM virtual machine. And now I'm going to type in net PLWIZ. Whoops. Goodness gracious. And okay. And that is opening up the user accounts. There's probably a much easier way to access user accounts. You could probably just search user accounts in there. I don't know. And then we want to uncheck this box right here. You see this? Users must enter a username and password to use this computer. Uncheck that box. And then when you click apply, it's going to ask you to add your password. So my username is a key, I think, on this VM. Yep. So now it's good. So now the virtual machine will just start up without requiring any username and password. Okay. Now then, what we want to do is go through the task scheduler. It's really pretty simple. It's just a few different tasks that we have to do here. We just want to open up the NinjaManager, and then we want to run that NinjaManager run auto hotkey script to ensure that this run button is set. So, you're going to set up the NinjaManager exactly how you want it, test it out, make sure it works, set it on a timer, put your computer to sleep, see if it works, get it all set up properly, and then you can create these tasks and make it start up with your PC next time it opens automatically for you on a schedule, which you have to set up in the BIOS. So now let's start creating the first task. So we want to create a basic task, NinjaManager start. So we're going to name this NinjaManager start. Run only when the computer is logged on, and we want to set this to the Windows that we have. So for me, it's Windows 10. You'll configure it for whichever Windows you have on your PC, and then click triggers. You don't go to OK. Okay, you've got to go general, name it, set the configure for which Windows, and then go to your trigger, and then new trigger, and it's going to be on startup, at startup right here. So we want to perform this task right when the computer starts up. Oh, I'm sorry, at logon. Forgive me, at logon. I guess it's about the same thing, really. But this is the way Josh is showing us how to do it. So this is obviously the right way to do it. So begin the task at logon, click on OK, and then actions, new action. We are going to start a program, and we need to go find that program in the list. So here, for the action, we're starting up the NinjaManager. So, okay, we've got the trigger on logon. We've got the action, start a program, and now we want to find where the NinjaManager is. And the NinjaManager is in the C drive, program files, 86, trade the plan folder, and that one right there, TTP NinjaManager, the one with the icon application. Click open and OK. You see, we've got the trigger at logon. So when the computer logs on, it's going to perform this action, which is to start a program to start the NinjaManager. Okay, and that's it for this task. And now we need another task to run this little application to make this NinjaManager tap that run button right there. So create task again. We're going to say NinjaManager run. And Windows 10, run only when the user is logged on. Trigger is, I think it's the same at logon. Yeah, at logon. Right here. Any user, yep. The delay is built in automatically for this one. So it's a 2-minute delay built into the application, the auto hotkey script. So your NinjaManager will open up, and then precisely 2 minutes later, the run key will be tapped by, you know, a magical mouse. Sounds like a good name for a band. So go to Actions, New, Start a Program. We're going to find this program, NinjaManager Run. Program C, Program Files, 86, trade the plan. Anyway, you select this NinjaManager Run script application and click Open. Okay, and that is it. And okay. So now we have 2 tasks in our task scheduler. For the VMware, I'm not going to set up the BIOS to do this, but, well, I can't because I've got one BIOS, I've got one motherboard, and it's already set up to do that. But I suppose I could create a task to open up my virtual machine here in the task scheduler. Yeah, I could absolutely do that. Okay, so the process is my BIOS will start up my PC at 4:30 a.m. The task scheduler is going to open up the NinjaManager. It's going to double click on this basically. And then the next task is going to, 2 minutes later, click on this run button. And then 28 minutes later, Ninja will open, my workspaces will open, it'll connect to the data feed, it'll cycle through all of the workspaces until they're all loaded, and then it'll be completed. And then when I come to my desk, it's ready to go, it's ready to trade. All I have to do is connect to my Continuum data feed, and I'm good to go. Okay. Pep is saying, what if you leave your computer on sleep but not closed? Yeah. So that's what the NinjaManager is designed to do, is designed to wake up the computer at this time, to wake it up from sleep. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah, the cache is cleared before that. So the cache would be cleared this many minutes before Ninja opens, which is pretty cool. It's pretty nice. And then I'm sure in the future we'll make it do all sorts of other stuff. Who knows? Then even if you use a password, your program will load without showing on screen. No, that's the problem. If you do require a password at the logon screen, well, if you just require the logon screen, then it can't fully load. It can't open up. Yeah, it would be nice if it made breakfast. All right, guys. Bye, everyone.